Hello class, my name is James Ryan, and this is my informative speech on current and alternative energy sources. There's growing concern and debate over our current energy crisis and the rising cost of fuel. According to the Energy Information Administration, oil, coal, and natural gas is this country's primary source of energy, accounting for 84% of fuel use. Consumption of these resources not only results in land, air, and water pollution, but it also has an economic impact which inhibits our independence as a nation. According to a monthly review by the EIA, 57% of the oil consumed in the U.S. is from foreign sources. Billions and billions and billions of tax dollars are being spent to protect these foreign sources, and many lives are lost as well. Coal is primarily used in power plants to produce electricity. It's brought in from over 500 different mining facilities around the country, and it's brought into these plants where it's pulverized into a fine dust and shot into the furnaces. These furnaces have tubes running through them full of water. These furnaces heat the water up to over 1,000 degrees, producing high pressure steam. That steam shoots out of passages into these turbines, and these turbines spin at a pretty high velocity, and they're connected to the generators that produce electricity. Once the steam is used to turn these turbines, it's cooled down and condensed back into water and brought back into the furnace to be heated back into steam again. The water used to cool the steam is from a local water source, but these are completely enclosed systems. Nothing is cross-contaminated, and the only emissions that come from these plants is the carbon dioxide from burning the coal. This is an extremely efficient way of producing electricity, but these aren't really the problem. The problem comes from the facilities, the mining facilities that obtain the coal. When mining for coal, you surface a mineral known as pyrite, also called fool's gold. When pyrite comes in contact with air and water, it produces sulfuric acid. When it rains in the area that the mining facility is located in, that sulfuric acid is washed out of the mines into local water sources and streams, harming plants and local wildlife. The United States is the second largest producer of natural gas. We're right behind Russia. We produce about 20.6 trillion cubic feet of natural gas per year. Though it is a very clean source of energy, it produces methane gas, which according to the Environmental Protection Agency has a global warming impact 21 times greater than carbon dioxide. Methane gas only accounts for 1% of U.S. greenhouse gases, and great measures are taken to reduce that number. Natural gas can replace gasoline as a fuel in cars. Many of the cars you see on the road right now can actually be purchased from the manufacturer with natural gas kits installed. Not only that, but you can buy aftermarket natural gas kits to install on older vehicles. Investment into alternative energy sources other than ones that I've just stated are in high demand because these are all fossil fuels, and there's belief that eventually we will run out of fossil fuels. So not only is environmental impact an issue with fossil fuels, but the abundance of them as well. So currently, nuclear power plants are a huge source of energy in this country. They're an extremely cheap source of energy, and they produce no greenhouse gases. However, these take about 10 years to construct, and once the uranium used in these plants is used up, the byproduct is a radioactive substance that we still really don't know how to dispose of. There's a lot of research and investment into ideas such as a storage facility deep within the mountains of a desert, such as the Yucca Mountains in Nevada. The byproduct of nuclear power plants takes thousands of years to degrade, so that's really the only option we have, is to bury it somewhere deep in the middle of a desolate area. One more thing to point out about the nuclear power plants is they have to be built near a major water source, and many of those water sources are contaminated by byproducts of the nuclear power plant. There's great measures being taken right now to eliminate that. Another source of power currently in use is wind turbines. They're currently in use in my area where I live. Um, the they're relatively inexpensive. They're well, not only inexpensive, but it's free and renewable source of energy. The only drawback to these wind turbines is the amount of land needed to produce the amount of electricity that we need as a civilization is 300 times greater than the amount of land needed for a coal power plant. And speaking with locals in the area, their opinions of wind turbine farms, there's mixed emotions. Many people are for it, and some people are actually against it because of the land consumption and the potential eyesore that they will have of looking out on the horizon and seeing these giant wind turbines. Personally, it really doesn't bother me. In fact, up close, I think they're pretty fascinating. These things are massive, and just the whole idea behind them is pretty enticing. Solar panels have come a long way in efficiency, though they are expensive initially. They can cost up into the thousands to have enough solar panels to power a home. Once they're installed, it's a free source of energy. The only drawback to solar panels is that they only produce electricity during daylight hours. At nighttime or during a storm where there is no sun, they're not doing anything. However, power cells can be installed to store excessive energy produced by solar panels for use in times where there is no sun. One of my favorite sources of alternative energy is the hydroelectrical system, which is a dam, or it can be built on a natural flowing waterway. And the way these work is water collected in a dam or on a natural flowing waterway is channeled through a piping system that hits a turbine. And that turbine spins around and the water continues on its way down the waterway. Well, this turbine, as it spins, it's connected to a generator. That generator produces electricity, which is sent out to the electrical grid. It's once built, they are an inexpensive source of energy requiring minimal manpower to maintain. The only drawback to these would be the possible disruption of the ecosystem in the water downstream, and the possibility of disrupting natural and seasonally changing wildlife and fish in these waterways. That can be avoided with careful planning of the location of these power plants and how they will operate. With just these examples, there's all kinds of potential for alternative energy sources just simply looking around. There's no need to fall victim to the stronghold mankind has on only a handful of fuel and energy sources. Just the way you can get away from that is by seeking out these energy sources for yourself. You know, when you go to purchase electricity for your home, find companies that utilize wind turbines, hydroelectrical power plants. The more people that go for these, and the more money that's invested in these, the less we rely on fuel sources that have kind of deprived us and put us in this bind that we're currently in. And just by looking around, there's so many sources of energy out there. There is no energy crisis. Mankind has created this, just with money and the chase for power and stuff. There is no energy crisis. Just look around, and you'd be surprised at what can be used to fuel your car and provide electricity to your home. Thank you.